Okay. So we've got the giveaway today for everyone that has attended live. Summer, will you do me a favor and you'll just check who's on here today and then we can cross-reference the other days. And we'll be pulling the giveaway winners after this call straight away. I've got a call with the support coaches and then we're going to let you know in the giveaway chat. So if you could just keep an eye on that and let people in for me, that would be brilliant, Summer. Thank you. Hi, Anita. Are you still in the UK, or have you guys to get back to the States? You're back in the States?
I'm back in New York. Yeah.
Okay, wow. Okay, brilliant. Lovely to see you.
So
Okay,
sorry I couldn't make the others.
you're fine. You're all good. You've got the replay. There's literally no problems. Brilliant. Okay. I'm going to give everyone a couple of minutes and then we're going to begin together because I'm going to do a bit of practical kind of things before we begin, like organization stuff. But I'm just curious in the chat, as we kind of give people a couple of minutes just to find their way, what commitments have you guys made since yesterday? Like I actually want to see it in the chat. I want you to see it's really interesting. There's a story that I can tell in the future, but I can't tell right now because I'm living it. And there's something that I've learned, and the thing that I've learned is don't reveal too much too soon, right? When you've got a new dream, you've got a new baby, right? You want to protect it and keep it kind of protected and safe with you. And so I used to be very, very vocal and used to be very, and then I would receive like, well, you can't do that, or that's impossible. And that would knock all of my faith. And I would just like feel like I'd lose the wind, from my dreams, really. So now when I'm doing something, I don't tell people, which is very hard for me because I've got a very big mouth and I'd like to tell people. But anyway, I am in a coaching group and I got challenged by the coach to hit a certain thing in a certain period of time. And the commitment to that thing has completely shifted the way that I think about my business and what I believe to be possible for 2026 for myself. And the commitments that I've made and the moves that I've made and the things that I've done that are happening behind the scenes, right? And so, one of the things that was really, really helpful for me was being challenged to something in front of not the whole world, but a small group of people that are part of a coaching container. Because in a coaching container, there's an agreement, firstly, of privacy, but there's also an agreement of like, we're going to support each other. Do you know what I mean? And it was unbelievable to say, okay, I take on that commitment, I take on that challenge in front of that group of chosen people, the shifts that I've had internally, right? So I want to encourage you guys to make a commitment whilst you're here, not to just be like a fly on the wall in this event, even if you're watching the replays. Like if you're avoiding making the commitment, if you're avoiding making the choice, right? Just notice that within yourself. Because that might be one of the reasons that you've not got the results that you've wanted to get in certain areas. So we've got here, I'm not going to say the names for the commitment because I know that this is recorded, yeah? I've made a financial commitment, but I'm not ready to share. That's fine. It's stretching me to the point that I've had a lot of healthy adrenaline and my brain is firing with solutions. I love that. That's literally what we're looking for, right? People are so scared of fight or flight, and there is actually a healthy sense of fight or flight, right? Dying to know the future, Hannah. You will definitely set new financial goals in the organization, writing out my numbers, breaking it all down, meeting with a new bookkeeper. I love that. Setting new goals, savings, investments, day three, hit home. Okay, I love that. I love that. I love that, Anita. And I hope you guys realize from day three is like you can have the things that you want to have, right? If you stop going, oh, I'm gonna save my finances by just being frugal and not spending, you're never going to become a millionaire. You're never going to become successful that way, right? So 150 until the end of the year, beautiful. I set new goals and sent them to my coach today. Love to see it. I'm committing to changing my business model so it's geared for scaling. This is incredible stuff, right? Hitting new financial goals, had some home truths over the week that made me realize I'll never hit those goals with my current business model. Yeah, right? Like that's the power of being here. And like for some of you guys, and this isn't even like some marketing fucking bollocks, right? You're gonna look back on the conversations we've had this week and the questions that I've asked you, and you've got to realize that that changed your trajectory. Because when I look back, the choice to go from women's circles to products changed my trajectory. The choice to have a membership model, memberships are one of the most scalable business models. I don't want to go too much into business strategy, but they're one of the smartest business strategies in my particular, um, you know, market. However, we've got different people, different business models, which we'll speak to today. Right. And so there's been these pivotal choices when I made a decision, can I make a quarter of a million 3 months in 3 months within my like first year and a bit of business? I made that decision and it was insane. Right. But if I hadn't made that decision, I probably would have just stayed at 5 to 7K a month and I probably could still be there. Right. The decision of going to Ibiza and being like, I'm going to sign for a six-figure rent, like absolutely bonkers, illogical. Most people wouldn't do that shit. But the reason that I made a million in that house, and I'd done six figures prior, it made no sense, right? It was my way. It was that commitment and that willingness to be stretched, that willingness to be uncomfortable. And so that's what I want to bring your awareness to. Some of you guys are playing it way too safe. Oh, I'm just going to make doing these little fucking cute goals. And then you get to the end of the year and you wonder why, right? You've had a good year. You don't have to berate yourself. You don't have to guilt and shame yourself. That's never going to be helpful. But you can be honest with yourself, right? Of like, I'm actually not setting goals that are challenging me at all. I'm just doing this linear basic moves. Yeah. I can already tell the trajectory changed big time. I love that. If we can't fully commit, are we disqualified from moving forward? I set the goal and it stretched my nervous system to a place that isn't comfortable right now. But it shouldn't be comfortable. You're not disqualified. No, like, here's the thing. What would you be disqualified from? No, you're not going to be disqualified. I'm not your mum. I'm not your dad. I'm not your guru. I'm not the almighty voice of Hannah. Can you imagine how fucking terrible for us all? Right? Like, it would just, that's not nice. So, what would you be disqualified from? But the point is, some people are picking goals that are comfortable. The comfortable goal is only going to be something that you've done before. So if you pick something that's uncomfortable, that creates like, there's so much, I teach nervous system from a biological lens. There is so much fucking shit being taught about nervous system in the online world right now that's keeping people stuck because people are scared to feel anything except perfect regulation. Good fucking luck building a business and being regulated all of the fucking time. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're meant to experience sensation, and you can only increase capacity. You can only increase like actual biological nervous system capacity by stretching your edges and being able to stay there and sustain it. It's like increased flexibility. If you're like, oh, I'm only going to go to the point where I don't feel anything at all, then you're not even working out. It's like when you go and work out, what do? You tear muscles, right? When did we get all so fucking like wimp little birds? You're not. You're not fragile. But the fact that I'm saying this doesn't mean that you should go burn your body out. Right? Those aren't the choices. I'm going to protect my nervous system and be frightened of everything, or I'm going to burn my body into the ground, right? Like there are so many areas in between. And I'm an advocate for looking after your body. Like it's what I teach entrepreneurs, right? I'm an advocate for longevity things. I teach so much in terms of physical health and detox, right? But you're not fragile. You can sustain negative emotion, but we've been told to avoid it, right? 100% this week's changed my trajectory massively. I love the fact that everyone's using the trajectory word now. When you say it, I'm like, yes, we love that word. Okay, 50 to 80 end of the year, brilliant. I'm wholeheartedly willing to do what it takes to get where I need to be. There's a huge itch within me that's asking me to step into my potential. That's amazing. And actually, I'm going to speak to those feelings because that's such amazing evidence that you've got that sensation that you're exactly where you're meant to be. So I love that. Anita says, I feel sick. Anita says, I don't know if I could hit my goal. I know Anita, by the way. I'm not going to bully those of you guys that I don't know. But if I do know you, I will bully you. Anita, every single year, because I've known Anita for years, right? And she's come to several in-persons. I feel like I've known maybe Anita my lifetime. That is, in fact, an incorrect statement, right? But Anita every year says, oh, I don't know if I can hit that goal. And she sold 11 million in properties in the first 6 months of 2026, right? And when, yeah, exactly. And when we're in the in-person, she goes, well, maybe I've got to raise my goal from 20 million to 40 million. But you're obviously going to do it. Then she goes, well, maybe I can't sustain it. I know that you can do it, Anita. And I love the fact that you feel sick. Brilliant. Reoccurring discomfort through the sessions. It's not new. It's a question of breaking the limiting patterns by, yes, being committed and willing to embrace the uncomfortableness. Nail on the head. My goal is to 10x what I've earned this year for the rest of the year. I love that. What I've done is work backwards and realize, yes, what I need to sell to hit this. Love it, love it, love it. And I've had to change what my launch is in September, but I love the fact that you're changing your launch. Why does that make me so excited? I love strategic people that when you give them like a little energetic shift and then they go map out a new strategy and you're like, this is excellent. Okay, love that. Family, yes. I'm super grateful for you, Hannah, for offering the space these days. I feel shaken in a good way, like I've woken a fierce power. Love to hear it. Imagine if you were guys in a membership long term and you're getting this all the time, right? My goal for the next year is 50K months. Yeah, easy for you, Nicole. 100K saved, all the house already bought. Big goal is, yeah, yeah. And we've already mapped your 500,000 to 750K a year in a couple of years. That's beautiful. My commitment to this is falling in love and being at such ease with marketing and selling and creating and teaching programs. Love, love, love. I was literally mapping out a new business model at 1 a.m. I know if you stop chasing regulation, right, like you're a fragile bird, then ideas are going to hit you in the face. Like, at the worst times, do you know how many times I've woken up at like 2 in the morning and I'm like, I need to sell this. And I write it down. And the fact that I've written it down, then I go to sleep, right? Because your subconscious mind, when you change the goal, gives you new thoughts, new ideas, yeah? And the inspiration hits. If you're not changing the goal, what you're committing to, you're only going to get inspiration to keep you where you are. But when you change the goal, you can suddenly see a new business model. You can suddenly, and you make that commitment. Like it's really, really powerful stuff. Okay. So amazing, amazing, amazing. Okay. So, practical things. Next week we've got a final bonus session. Okay, 6 to 7 CET. We're keeping the same time the whole time, just so it's easy. Because I know we've got lots of people all over the world, and time zones can be confusing. Yeah. So we're going to be doing invisible layers of resistance when making decisions, and I'm going to take you through a process, not like a big process reprogramming stuff because we do that behind the scenes. You guys know that I've said that from the beginning, right? But not behind the scenes, behind a paywall, basically. But I do want to take you through a process of actually understanding something that's called the terror barrier, okay? And so we'll do that next week. I'm debating whether to do a group discovery call. For those of you guys that want to join the Global Uni, we've had so many messages and lots of people are asking the same question. So if you would find it beneficial to have a discovery call where you can just ask me questions, things that because if I go through all of the features and this on this call, it doesn't really give me a lot of time to go through everything that I actually want to do with you in terms of content. So if you would find a group discovery call helpful, could you please let your support coach know or just let me know, right? And we can organize that for you. I don't know when we would do it, okay? And in that, I might do a Q&A. I don't know. We're getting some really interesting questions through the support coaches. Obviously, there's a lot of you, and I haven't been told everything that you're saying, probably only even like 10-20%. But there are some really interesting questions that are coming up through your shares that aren't just your personal questions, your personal experience. I would say they are like very general wellness questions that a lot of people have confusion on. And so please feel free to drop those into the Q&A. A couple of people have dropped questions. There was a really good question about the reprogramming, and I think a lot of people had that as a question. So the more that we can kind of get these in the Q&A, I think it's going to be beneficial for you because I think there's some insight that I can give that would be helpful, right? There's two super, super duper quick questions that I want to speak to now that I've got you all in terms of healing modalities. And then we're going to go into blueprint, we're going to go into purpose, and we're going to go over, obviously, because we've gone over every single day, and why stop now? We won't go over next Tuesday because next Tuesday I'm teaching within paid products and stuff, so I don't have the space that I've got this week. So a question that came up was like the distinction between modalities, okay? And this is something that literally took me a decade of working with so many wellness people, working with so many coaches, so many facilitators. And so I've had people, because I commented, I did an audio, and this was before a lot of you guys knew me, and I was talking about, having a sound bath isn't the same as really doing the deep work. Yeah. So there's nothing wrong with a sound bath, right? And I want you to, because this is where I accidentally actually offend people. And it's not designed to be offensive. It's just that I want to give you, because I'm not biased towards one modality or one way of doing things, because I am very multidimensional, I'm very multimodality, and I'm very, very, very spiritual and energetic, but also I'm really, really, really logical and practical, and I'm pretty disciplined, right? So I don't feel like I have a specific preference for different types of modality, and I don't have that emotional buy-in. And so I can really zoom out and see. And so there's different types of healing modalities. Okay. We've got healing modalities which just relax the body and the nervous system, and that has a function, right? Because in your life, if you're always in the inhalation, which means information, productivity, building, right, and you never exhale, that's a form of burnout, right? So when you're having sound baths and you're doing deep meditation and you're entering alpha and beta states, that's actually, it's almost a physiological process of filling up your cup, right? And so there is a place for that, right? And then we've got actual healing modalities of transformation and reprogramming. Okay. You'll hear me talking about reprogramming and clearing a lot. And if you haven't listened to the audios on this in the group, I do recommend it. Okay. Because I don't want to go into it here because it's again too much. But there are two different types of modalities in the healing work, and it really is two categories. That's it: specific and non-specific. Okay. So things like breath work, things like yoga, things like just catharsis-based embodiment practices. I know everyone here isn't a practitioner. Um, so I might be speaking to some of more the technical terms. So take as much of this as interesting for you. Things like yeah, catharsis based embodiment. So when you go and you just do release, right? Like this is called non-specific healing modalities. And so what that means is that you go to a session and there is a release of some sort, but it's not often predictable, right? So they are really helpful, and they are really, really beneficial, and they are, they serve a function. And so every modality, and understanding different types of modalities and when to use them and why to use them, is profound, because used in the right time space, then brilliant. But it's not the same as specific. Okay. Because a non specific release is you go and there is a release and something shifts and you don't know what it is. Yeah. Specific healing modalities, right? Where you talk to shamanic journeys, where you talk to like hypnotherapies, you talk to body based somatic tools where you go in, and it's very, very precise. You start with the problem in someone's life, and this is what I train people in our certification. We do this in the global uni, but you start with a problem in someone's life, you track in the body, you find the original wound, whether it's this life, past life, and it could be a multitude of things, right? You clear it and you program in the new frequency. And so you create neurological reprogramming, and you create a clearing of the old emotional frequency and the programming in of the new frequency, all in one session. And so for me, the modalities that are specific to the pattern work, right, is that for me is the gold standard, because it's so specific. And I'm the type of girl, like, girl, probably should call myself a woman, who the fuck knows? I am 33. But I'm the type of person that, like, I don't really like wasting time. Like, I want to go in, get it done, and I don't want to fanny around, right? I don't know if in America you talk about fanning around, but I don't want to waste time. So I'm someone that's like, I want to work with someone that's a ninja that goes in, gets it done, go. Goes in, gets it done, go. Goes in, gets it done, go. Like, I don't want, so I specifically, and even though I do teach non-specific modalities, I primarily focus on specific modalities. So the emotional clearing that we teach, it's like, find the emotion, clear the emotion, the emotion and the memory and the pattern, right? Reprogram the subconscious mind in this very specific way, because that's what I'm interested in. I'm interested in having, I almost feel like it's like the keys to myself, the keys to my subconscious mind, the keys to my emotional body, the keys to my energy body. That's what's interesting to me personally. Okay. So that's what I wanted to speak to in terms of like, and that's why I've trained in so many different modalities. And when I work with people, I will recommend different modalities depending on what they come to me with. And it's why I'm not really a one size fits all girl. Like even when I certify people, it's 22 modalities because I want you to develop mastery. And if you've only got one tiny piece of what is an integrated puzzle, then it's very hard for you to, even if you are extremely competent as a human, and all of my clients are extremely competent humans, you've got one piece of the puzzle. Do you know what I mean? So that's the first thing. The second thing is for my wellness people who have struggled in business. I get a lot of clients. I mean, I get a lot of clients that have done really well in business, and they want to do even better. I've got clients that have done really well in business and they're coming more for the wellness section. And then I've got people that are really well trained in wellness and they know that they've got a huge purpose and they know that they've got something they want to create. And they know that they're the one, they know that they're the one to get that done, but they don't have the business training, right? And so this is another misconception in the wellness world that if you've just got the spiritual modalities, that's enough. If you just know how to manifest, that's enough. You have to learn business as well, right? And so that's why I teach it all together. That's why when our people certify with us, I teach them business and I give them business training because you do need both, right? Like I am super woo and sometimes my partner Craig, like I come out with stuff and he just like he rolls his eyes at me. He's like, we'll make a question. I'm like, I feel like this is the time to pull a tarot card. He's ex-military guy. He's open, but he's an ex-military guy, like he's just like a fucking tarot card. And then I get him into it and he loves it, right? So even though I do have that part, we do need to have business training. We do need to have the integration of both. And this is again why I always push this narrative of integration, 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 integration. Yeah. So that's the couple of questions that have come through the chat that I wanted to speak to. I agree, and I facilitate sound baths. Monday, sorry, it's Tuesday. The call, did I say Monday? It's Tuesday. I got confused. Tuesday, 6 to 7 is the call next week. Yeah, brilliant. Okay, perfect. Um, couple more practical things, and then we're going to go straight into purpose and blueprint. Okay. For those of you that are wanting to join the Global Uni, next week we've got the mastermind on Wednesday, and we've got a 2-hour business clinic before the month ends. So it's a really, really, really good time to join in the sense that you can join and then get your eyes on my business straight away, because that's what we're doing next week, right? I know I mentioned this week that I wasn't working for August, like I was working less. That doesn't mean that I'm disappearing from the Global Uni into space. We are running the multidimensional sales challenge. Okay. So if you do join the Global Uni, you'll go straight into the sales challenge if you so choose. It's a great time to lean in. If you don't choose to do it in that moment, it's a repeatable system and a process. Okay. What I want to say is that we've had this as a question as well. For those of you guys that are thinking about the Global Uni and you're like, oh my God, there are so many blueprints. We've had that as a thing as well. What if I don't use it all? The higher you go up, the more selective you get. So just because you're being given everything, what I spoke to yesterday is like, when you make a commitment to something, you've got to cut other stuff, right? When you make a commitment to making X amount of money, you've got to cut other stuff. So when you make investments, you've got to be like, I'm going to use the things that function for me, and then I've got the rest there. But it's not the person that does the most that gets the best results. It's the person that takes the right action. And to take the right action, you've got to trust yourself. This is for me. This is not for me. It's this piece. It's not that piece. I'm going to do this, right? And so this really brings me to the blueprint thing. And so what you're hearing from me today and what you're hearing from me over the last few days is that I work and, I've really only shared a small fraction of what I teach and what I do. I work with a multitude of different types of people, different ages, different genders, different industries, right? We've got a lot of digital people. Obviously, that makes sense. People that are marketers online or people that are wellness people online, right? We do have a lot of that, but we have a huge variety of people. And the reason that I can work with a huge variety of people is that I don't give you a one standard fit all approach and say you've got to fit into that. And the reason that I don't do that, and this brings it to blueprint, is because every single person has a different blueprint to success. And we are all really, really different. And if we don't understand that, you can make a lot of investments, or I'm going to go learn this marketing strategy because someone with a lot of followers online said that it was the key to success, and it doesn't work for you. And it might not be working for you, not because you didn't try hard enough, not because you've got limiting beliefs, but actually just because you are not designed for that business model. So the reason that I bring such a plethora of things is so that it can serve different people. And what I'm very, very good at is recommending different paths for different people. When people work with me, I will give different answers to different people, even if they're asking me the same question. Okay, who's heard of blueprint? Before I explain this, who has heard of blueprint? When I talk about having a different blueprint, who knows what I mean? Okay, bye, Anna. Yes, CET. Yeah, all of the times are in CET, even though I get confused now because I'm in Portugal, so I'm not in CET. Do you know what I mean? I'm like confusing myself. Yes, all good. Okay. Yeah, I mean, obviously, my client Sophie as well, your own unique blueprint. Yes. Okay, cool. So there are different philosophies around this. Yeah. And who's been skeptical to astrology in their life? Who's been skeptical to things like gene keys or human design? Or has anyone experienced skepticism to this? I'm curious. Is it just me? Me, Anita, yeah. I have been I love astrology. Okay, good. So you're going to like where I'm going. I have been extremely skeptical to astrology, extremely skeptical to human design. And then I started working with clients. And I was like, it's so on point. It's so fucking specific. Can you tell that I like specificity in terms of like again and again and again and again and again that I can't deny it anymore? Who's heard we've all got infinite potential? It's fucking not true. We don't all have infinite potential. We've all got infinite potential in the framework and the blueprint that we've been given, right? Like, even if I wanted to be a world standard boxer, I do not have the genetic makeup to smash it in boxing. Do you know what I mean? I'm 5'3". I have no desire to hit people. I've never hit anyone in my life. I would cry emotionally. Do you know what I mean? Right? My partner, Craig, I don't know if he wants to do boxing, but he is a big boy. So genetically, he has an advantage to me physically. It would be crazy to say that physically we have the same potential. There are different genetics. We have different energetic genetics, different capacities, different talents. Eva just came online. Eva is one of my clients. She's been with me forever. Okay, Eva has been with me forever. Eva is a fantastic architect and she bridges like the humanitarian section, feng shui. I know Chrissy does feng shui as well. Luxury, like she's amazing. And I appreciate Eva's work, right? So much. And every time I see her, she's got a new project and they're all in the well, they're just fantastic. And I love it. I would not be as good as her at that. That is not my lane, right? Ever said, sorry for being late. You're fine. It's good because you just reminded me of the example. It's scary how on point it is. Yeah. I use them for my one-to-one sessions with clients. Yeah. Because it tells you so much just from a chart. Actually, there's levels to it. You don't have to be big, okay, to win at boxing. My dad is a professional boxer and only had 6 or 9 losses in his weight category. Okay, amazing. The point is, I don't want to be a boxer. Even if I could be really good, the point is, no fucking desire to be in a ring and get punched. What the fuck? What cannot resonate? Literally cannot. You could kill it. I like your belief in me, Natalie, and I really am touched by your belief in me. But I do not want to pursue that, right? But the fact that I don't want to pursue it, guess what that's telling you? Not your lane, not your purpose. So the problem with the success industry and the problem with the wellness industry and the problem with the coaching industry is that a lot of people have built success in a way and they only know that way. And then they're like, everyone, do my one program with my one system and strategy. It works for everyone. And then people join and 20% get a result. And it's because not everyone is designed the same. Like I'm a really strange makeup. Like for those of you guys that know human design, you want to know, I'm a 2-4. So leave me the fuck alone. And then I'm out in the like, and I'm a projector. Do you know what I mean? I'm an alien. I'm a fucking 2-4 projector. I have an emotional wave, right? I've got the gate of shock. Like I'm a very like interesting, weird blend baby bird thing that's not fragile, but is a baby bird, right? Yes, I fucking love a projector. I'm like, I see you, alien, dropped on this planet. I see you, right? I love a projector, right? And everyone's got, all of the human design things. It's not better or worse, it's different. Yeah. So, blueprint, okay? We've got Manny Jens, Craig's a Manny Jen. We've got another projector, 5-1. Okay, brilliant. All these projectors, generators, love to see it. I like how many of you guys know your human design. Who here doesn't know their human design? And who here knows their gene keys? Because when you know your gene keys, you know your human design and you can bridge your astrology. Bye, Charlie. Right? And you bridge it all together, you get so much information. And then you can do your Vedic astrology and you can do all of these different things. Don't know it at all. Generator here. I'm very similar to you. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. MG35. So everyone's different. What we're seeing from this, okay? And you don't need to know your human design for today's session. Okay? But what we do need to know is that if you build a business that is not meant for you, right? One of two things is going to happen. It's not going to work, right? And then you're going to feel frustrated because it's like, well, that person got it to work. And this is why comparison, please don't do it because everyone is different. But what can also happen, and what happens for a lot of people, is they build a business and then they fucking hate it. Okay? They absolutely hate it. And that's not the name of the game either. You build a business, you're like, oh my God, I've hit these extraordinary levels of success, right? And you feel like you've built yourself a cage because you were never designed to create that. And so obviously that leads to wanting to burn it down. I see this on social media all the time. Do you ever feel like you want to burn it all down? I have never felt like I want to burn it all down because my business is extremely aligned to who I am. I felt things are hard, but I never wanted to burn it all down, right? Now, for me personally, I found my blueprint intuitively. Okay. I didn't know about astrology. I didn't know these things to the level that I applied it to my business. I was very in tune with myself and I was very out of tune with everyone else. I didn't really care. I wasn't interested in the beginning. I only noticed comparison a few years in, but to begin with, it was the least interesting thing in the world to me. Like I wasn't trying to not compare. I didn't care. Right. And so maybe it's that 2 line of just like being in my house and leave me the fuck alone. Right. But I was going to use the word lucky, but it wasn't luck. It was this connection to self. Right. That I started building things. And then I started joining coaching containers. And in these coaching containers, they would say, you've got to do it this way. You've got to do it that way. You've got to do it this way. You've got to do it that way. And then I started building a business that I hated. And I had to cut so much away. And I am so grateful for that time that showed me how important this is, right? How important this is. So let's look at this, right? Some people, and I can tell you this in your blueprint pretty quickly. And a lot of people that join and work with me, they pay in full and they get one-to-ones with me, right? And I've also got a program within the Global Uni where you can figure out your blueprint yourself. Some people are designed to build ultra complex business models that have tiers, that have layers, that have old school structures. Because some people go online and you don't want to build like the old paradigm. Well, some people are designed to build like the old paradigm. Some people are born to scale low ticket, to manage huge teams, to have massive pressure and responsibility, right? I'm someone that has a predisposition to this, right? I don't want a huge team, and I've chosen a small team and I've scaled that way because I don't choose that, right? But I can handle it. Some people, that is literally the worst thing that you could do for them. They're designed for small groups of people at very, very high prices because intimacy and emotional connection is where they thrive, right? And where there's value. I'm someone that's driven by intimacy. Some people are mass market. Some people are designed to have huge followings and sell at volume. Some people are luxury coded. So working with ultra high net worth individuals is perfect. Some people, and like this is the, like no one says this online, some people are behind the scenes people. Some people are not designed to be the star and they don't want to be the star. And it's not a limiting belief and it's not a block. They are just designed to build the wealth. Sometimes people are designed to be like the mentors of the stars. And that's not worse. That's literally their coding and that's where their wealth is. But if you force them to build a complex business or you force them to be the star, and we see this messaging, you've got to become the one. Not everyone does. Some people grow fast and they're quantum. Some people are structural and they're steady, right? So we're all so different. What it comes down to, and we've spoken about this throughout the time, is that you've got to be really fucking true to yourself because it's so easy to get pulled into other people's currents. And you see this when some people work with a big coach that is highly successful and makes a lot of money. And then people work with them and they choose that way and they start marketing like them, right? They start marketing, pushing money results, even though that's not their blueprint. They start marketing with black and white luxury coded design, but that's not their blueprint. They start marketing like that person because they think if I sound like them and they've been successful, or if I be like them and they're successful, then I'll have success. And what starts to happen is that their success dwindles because it's not authentic. And in a time of AI, guess what? We're desperate for authenticity. If I pretended that I was super luxury coded, and I do like luxury, but if I pretended that I was this perfect masked person and I didn't show up authentically and I didn't swear and I wasn't bold, I wouldn't have half the clients that I've got now. Because my clients don't work with me because I go to five-star hotels. My clients work with me because they connect to me, because they like how honest I am, because they like how like blunt I am, right? That's my unique signal. That's the unique me. But some people, and this is why, again, you can't compare, are designed for luxury brands that are perfect and you can't see a blemish. That's also someone's alignment. And you can see this in people's blueprint, right? And so it's crazy. So I've got clients that I'm like, you need a structure. And it's very interesting because sometimes the clients that need most structure are those that are like, I'm just flowing. And I'm like, well, you will not make money. And some of my clients are intimacy and healing, and they are the archetype of a healer. Some of my clients are behind the scenes people. Some of my clients are hugely strategic people, right? But what your blueprint also shows you, it's not just the business model that you're designed to have, because you can see this in your blueprints when you know how to read it. It's not just the business model that you're designed to have, it's the biggest wounds that if you don't heal will fuck up your wealth. And these wounds are different again for everyone, right? So, like, for example, for me, my greatest wounding, and I can tell you this because I've worked on it so much, is boundaries. I have given so much, and this been this overgiving. Oh, you want this from me? Don't worry, I'll do it late at night, like with the team, with this, with that, right? That when I drop my boundaries, I lose money. When I say yes to something that I've said no in, I lose money, right? For some people, their greatest wounding is comparison. For some people, their greatest wounding is that they get distracted. For some people, that they always feel that they're less than. For some people, it's the unwillingness to commit. For some people, it's they've got a really big rejection wound, right? Right? And you can see all of this in your gene keys. You can see all of this. You can see it more in your gene keys than you can see it in your human design. The gene keys are very, very specific to this is the highest potential of your specific genes and this is the lowest potential, right? But can you see how powerful this is? Because imagine you've spent the last year following someone else's blueprint and feeling like a fucking idiot, right? Because you can't do it. But actually, it was never designed for you. And so that Einstein quote comes to mind, right? If a fish tries to climb a tree, it's going to think it's stupid, but a fish is designed to swim, right? Everyone, so let's come back to this potential sentence. I don't believe that everyone's got infinite potential, right? But I do believe that everyone's got potential for wealth with a different expression and a different structure and a different timeline. And different expression, right, is important. Some people are born and they're like, I am here to become a millionaire. Do you think an Elon Musk, whatever you think of Elon Musk as a human being, that is not the conversation we're having today, right? Do you think Elon Musk has got standard normal wiring? He doesn't, right? Billionaires have a very, 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 very unique coding. Millionaires, it's a different game. Everyone can get to millionaire. Really, truly, they can. But the product and the model and the way and the expression that they would do it and the timeline that they do it on will be different, right? Because we are coded differently. And so this is why I teach a multitude of ways in terms of modalities. This is why I teach a multitude of ways in terms of business. Some people need more energetic, some people need more strategy and structures, right? And so if you don't provide that and you try and force people into a mold that wasn't meant for them, you're going to get people that feel pissed off and they don't know why. And so ultimately, the more in alignment you are to your company, right, the happier you'll be and the freer you'll be. So the question is, how do you get in alignment? How do you know your blueprint, right? Well, obviously, we've spoken about this. If you know your human design, you know how to read gene keys, you know how to read astrology, different forms of astrology, things like destiny matrix, stuff like that, right? Easy. If you don't, within the Global Uni, we've got a course that teaches you how to do it. You can find all of the information that I've just shared, right? When people join and work with me, they pay in full whatever the product. I do a one-to-one, and I always, 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 before I hop on a call with people, I do all of their charts. And I run them from every different angle and I cross-reference. And it is unbelievable, unbelievable the overlap between charts. But different charts will give you different levels of information, right? But the second way, because did you hear? I didn't know the blueprint when I began, right? The second way that will build your life in alignment to your blueprint, right? And let's actually speak to purpose. What is purpose? Purpose is the expression of self. That's it. Living a life of purpose, right, is becoming all of your blueprint in this lifetime that you can. A life of purpose is becoming more of yourself. And I know that that sounds really spiritual and wanky and doesn't really sound like I'm saying anything, but the purpose of your lifetime is to be you. And that is twofold. It's stripping away all of the shit that you think that you are. It's stripping away all of the money stuff, the relationship stuff, all the wounding, doing your ancestral work, doing your transgenerational work, right? Becoming more of yourself and bringing that to the world. Having a life that is fully you, that is your purpose. And in that, you're going to feel pulls towards different things. That's your purpose. In that, you're going to feel like, what is desire? Desire is life-seeking expression. That's it. And we've got such an unhealthy relationship with desire, but desire is life, or if you want to use spiritual terms, desire is God-seeking expression through you. And if you keep cutting it, right, you're never going to discover it, and you're going to feel unfulfilled. You're going to feel all of those things because you're not doing what you actually want to do. You're not allowing yourself to have the things that you actually want to have. The reason that I'm fulfilled is I'm doing what I fucking want to do, even if other people wouldn't want to do it. Not everyone wants to move to the Algarve and live in a field. I do. Makes me happy. That's my desire. That's life-seeking expression through me and through my blueprint, right? So to be in tune with this, we have to develop internal connection with ourselves. That's the way, right? How do you know the right path? You have to be in tune with yourself. And there is a concept that I have taught from day one, and the concept is the energetic thread, right? And the energetic thread is simply people like, how did you build the business? I had no awareness in my early 20s that I wanted to build a business. No awareness. Chantel's put my gene keys have got inadequacy. Yeah, inadequacy is a motherfucker. So many people have got it. You're always comparing yourself to others, and you're always like, these people are better than me. And your internal work that will lead to your success is seeing yourself on that level, right? And actually, this is another question that came through. Sorry, I'm just bopping around a bit. Someone said they had something come up that like they're going to want to teach business, but like they compared themselves to me. Your unique blueprint means that you've got something that I haven't got that people want and will pay you for. And so the more that you can brand and market you, the more successful you'll be. Because if you're marketing you and what makes you unique, we're not in the same lane. There's no competition. There are people that will resonate with you, and there are people that will resonate with me, and there is enough in the world to go around. You know, that's another question that we've had. Some of these questions are coming through, right? So the energetic thread. This is something that my father taught me, and I'm very lucky to have heard this as a child. I had two pieces of advice from my father career. They were find a niche and do it better than anyone else. Fuck everything else. And if someone's got something to say about it, bugger them. Thanks, Dad. That was it. Like that is it. That was the advice I received. There was nothing else, right? And so my dad always loved languages. And so as a young guy, he was hugely hippie, and he just bought a three-wheeled car and drove around Europe and just learnt languages. And he learnt 7 languages, right? Fluently. And everyone around him kept saying, Don, why are you wasting your time? Languages are never going to make you money. And he was just doing all these bizarre jobs, like he decided he was going to have a seed company. And all these jobs, he just broke even. He wrote books in, I don't know what he was doing. He was just doing what he felt like. And, you know, it kind of looked like it didn't make sense. And then when he got to 50, he suddenly felt this pull towards translation. So he went and did a master's in translation, the 18-year-olds and my dad at 50. And in his 50s, he discovered that not only was he an extraordinary translator, right? Extremely gifted, extremely talented, that he loved it, right? And he built this huge career in Norwegian crime fiction translation, right? Like, how can you create a plan for that? That's so niche, that's so weird, that's so specific, that's so bizarre, right? But there was something in his soul that pulled him that way. There was something in his soul that said, oh, Norwegian and you, Don. What? His name is Don. Gonna have a lovely time. My dad loves what he does so much that at 78 years of age, he's 78 this year, he still translates books. He doesn't need the money. He hasn't needed to work for over a decade. He doesn't need to work for the rest of his life. He's fine, right? But he gets up every morning, and he comes to stay with me in Portugal. And Craig, my partner, is fascinated by my father because he hasn't seen anything like it. He wakes up and he has such a lovely time in his life. He wakes up, he has his coffee, loves his coffee. He does a book. He goes on an hour walk alone. He might take a dog. Comes back, does some more translation, finds an avocado. He loves avocados. He's such a fulfilled person. He's one of the most fulfilled people that I know, right? And can you imagine if he'd followed the conventional path to success? For him, walks, avocados, toast, Norwegian crime fiction, going to book fairs. Him and his friends in their 80s go to these book fairs in Scotland, and they just have a fan-fucking-tastic time, right? He's like, you know, he does these walking holidays, right? And he's so happy. Why is and it's I feel really grateful that he's so happy because he's doing exactly he gave himself the blessing of following the energetic thread. I followed the energetic thread. That's what I was taught to do, and I'm very, very, very grateful because that was luck being born into that, or my soul knew that I needed that. But that's what I did with the healing work after my mum was sick, when I got sick, right? Like I studied in a way that is not normal. Like as you guys can probably tell from we spent 4 days together, like I fucking know my shit. I'm not doing AI scripts. I don't prepare anything through. It's all in me because I've done my 10,000 hours times, like, do you know what I mean? Like I live, breathe, like this is, it's just it for me. It's just is. And I know it. But I knew this from when I called my dad at 19 and said, Dad, I'm going to learn how to heal and I'm going to bring it to the world. And in that moment, I had no more clarity than that feeling, right? And as I studied yoga and nutrition and the more superficial modalities in the way that I studied them, I know yoga can go very deep, but I didn't go that deep, right, with it. The more that I realized that wasn't quite it. And so then I would go to shamans, then I would go to this, and then I would go to that, but I never had the whole path. You guys are never going to have the whole path until you die, like we talked about yesterday, right? And then you can look back and you're like, wow, I can see how it all connects. You only understand when you look back, right? It's like Anita with homes, right? Like it's just been this extraordinary like explosion. I know you've done lots of work, Anita, as well since we worked together, but like her unique blend of homes is that she really makes a home for people and she really cares about it and the staging thing, and it's so unique to her. Even obviously being a real estate agent is not unique, but the way that she does it is unique, right? And what she brings in herself and her personality, right? And it's following that energetic thread, those feelings. So that's also how you discover your blueprint. My dad's not done his astrology. Obviously, I've done my astrology and I try and text my dad about it, but he doesn't really care. I'm gonna be honest. He's Aquarius. For those of you guys that care about, of course he's a fucking Aquarius Norwegian crime fiction translator. Do you know what I mean? Of course he's Aquarian. He can't be anything else but Aquarian, right? Um, like he's so weird, but in such a wonderful way, right? And so you're going to find your purpose and you're going to find your blueprint. The more that you're connected internally, and the more that you allow yourself to trust that. And to be able to trust this internal, this way, do that, go there. You need to be able to distinguish what is mind and what is body. I love an Aquarius, right? Such niche people live for it. And I'm also a bit of a weird person. Do you know what I mean? So I live for it. I live for it. So, like, you've got to be connected to yourself. And there's two different messages that your physiology can give you. There's first message, your intuition, and there's the second message that's your mind, right? So intuition is like a feeling that you cannot explain. So some of you guys are here because of intuition. Some of you guys saw an ad and your mind maybe went, what if this is a scam? But your body went, I need to be there. Some of you guys are here because I know Eva, for example, who was here, she saw me at a festival fucking years ago and I was dancing and she had an intuitive feeling. And then she came to a masterclass and now she's been here, you know, and she's like an integral part of our community, right? So intuition is this subtle feeling. When I met Craig, it was the weirdest thing. Like he had a, you know, he's like this. I'm going to say something really strange. He's too good looking for my type. I don't really like good looking men. I like kind of like, I don't know how to explain this. I like just very, very rustic men. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't really like a good looking man. I'm like, give me a massive nose and like, I don't know how to explain it. So when I met him, I was kind of like, rugged and real. I was kind of like, and he was just like, he had a bit of a reputation of being a bit of a ladies' man, right? Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's what I like, right? Like Callum Turner, I love a big nose. Like honestly, if I was going to rate the physical qualities that I'm attracted to, the number one is a big nose, and I cannot explain it, but I feel it very passionately, yeah? Okay, we've got people that get it. We've got people that get it. We've got people that probably like, that's strange. We've got people that get it. I always say the same regarding my partner. He was too cute. Yeah, it's just like, so when I first saw him physically, I was like, okay, I get that you're conventionally attractive. Yeah. And I was like, he had a bit of a reputation in Malaga. But there was just this feeling that I had, right? Callum Turner, come on, very attractive, right? But he's not conventionally attractive. Like a Brad Pitt, I like him now he's old. I didn't like him when he was younger. Do you know what I mean? Like I just thought he looked like too nice. So when I met him, I was kind of like, my mind was like, this, and then there was that, and then there was, but I had this feeling in my body, and it was just this feeling of like safety and certainty. And my mind, I didn't like, he asked me out. I said no, right? We dated for 3 months without a kiss. So like, because I was really like, if you're gonna like, if you're gonna fuck around, like I'm out, right? And but there was this feeling within me that was just so certain and so safe. But that feeling was so much smaller than what my head said. What my head was saying was that there were so many reasons. Not now, not him. He doesn't speak Spanish. There were so many practical things. And I know it sounds like bizarre, but I come from like a mixed language family. So like there were so many practical things that I was like, and there was so much resistance that I experienced. And when I actually leaned into it, I intuitively already knew, I always knew, I knew from the first second that I saw him, right? But um I was so frightened of going for him because if went for him, I could be really heartbroken. And there was a major emotional risk, right? And so the work for you guys, right? Whether it's, who's read the book Woman That Ran with Wolves? And there's a chapter about like the most important thing that you can develop in your lifetime is your intuition because the mate that you choose will make or break your life. Who's read that, right? So it's the same in business. Like the potential that we've got in our body to intuitively know things by Roddy, to intuitively know things and make the right decisions from that place. Like that's what's going to take you to success. But to be able to do that, we have to practice being in the body. We have to create time and space for it. People are like, oh, I don't have time to do my spiritual practices. I'm like, well, look at your life go topsy-turvy then. Because you do have the time, you're just not prioritizing it, right? You need to have the space to connect with yourself, but you also need to be able to have the awareness of when your mind's just giving you bollocks and to keep coming back to that feeling. Because that feeling's going to say, post this offer, even though it wasn't in your launch plan. That feeling's going to say, you've got to go speak to that person, even though you're embarrassed to speak to a stranger. That feeling's going to say, you need to get rid of this offer. That feeling's going to say you need to hire that coach. That feeling's going to say, it's going to tell you and it's going to give you so much information that is so, so, so beyond your mind. And the more logical it is, the more that your mind will resist, the more that your mind will give you reasons for why that is wrong. It will say, like my father, if he'd listened, Norwegian crime fiction, that's not going to pay. Like how like do you know what I mean? You can't make money as a translator. He fucking did. He doesn't do any marketing. He still gets books that he turns down every single year. Because it really is his lane. Right? And so what I'm going to leave you with that, and the reason that I do so much work, I'm not someone that I'm like, and it's not that I'm anti this because I have clients that do this and they master it and they're brilliant at it and that's their lane. Okay. And this is very often where I write and help my clients write marketing and I pick up their unique points and they literally contradict mine because it's for a different type of person. And I don't believe in this competition. But this is why so much of my work is designed to get people connected to themselves. And so many of the practices and the processes that I teach in the Global Uni are helping you channel the next steps, to stop looking at others, to stop even looking at me and build from yourself. And I focus so much, like even in the sales challenge for this summer, there's so many activities on like how to channel the steps that are going to take you to the illogical results, how to channel the literal like things that you need to do to get what you want, right? Because I'm way more interested in teaching you to how to do that, right? Than me telling you and me giving you some form of psychic prediction. I get information. I do not share that information all of the time because sometimes it's not helpful. I'm interested in you learning how to do that for yourself, right? And so we've got to do that through these practices and processes. But it's like what I've spoken to you from this beginning, right? that there's going to be a process of training. Bye, Nicole. It's like you cannot expect yourself to do one process and one practice, be a master. How can you expect that of yourself? You've got to practice the work, you've got to practice the inner connection, and you've got to allow yourself the legway to get it wrong and to fail and to make mistakes. I think this is the thing that I'm most grateful about myself. I hear myself clearly. That's beautiful. I always feel what to do, how to respond, what I want, what I need. Amazing. Right? That's going to serve you. That's got the greatest ROI in life. Right? So, a couple of examples of illogical, insane things that I have done in my life, just to give you evidence, right? You guys have, lots of you have heard me tell this story. I was doing about 6 figures a year. I moved to Ibiza, and Craig and I are viewing houses, and suddenly we get sent this PDF, and this PDF of this house is fucking insane. I'm not used to multi-million houses. I've never lived in multi-million houses. My family don't come from that, right? And we have this feeling, we look at it and we go and see it. And the second that we arrive, we know that it's the house. And we both look at each other and we are so pissed off, right? That it's the house. We are so pissed off. We were so pissed off that it was the house because we knew that we had to do something radically different to be able to afford the house. We didn't even have the year rent in savings. So we knew that we were going to have to do something extraordinary. We knew that we were going to have to do something illogical. We knew that we were going to have to overcome ourselves. That was my first 500,000 year that has been completely sustained and never gone under. We rented that house for 2 years and it wasn't a smooth line, but that house was my code to my multi-millions. That house was my code. It literally was. It positioned me in people like, look, she's fucking insane. People noticed on social media, right? Now, I'm not saying that you should all go do that with a house. Some of you absolutely should not. I'm telling you, right, that that's what it was for me. And I had to trust that feeling. Even though I took a major risk, even though I was scared, even though I was pissed off, I was literally pissed off. I was like, I don't want to do this. I'm terrified, right? Another thing, though, it's happened to me in less frightening ways. I've woken up. I remember this, I'd never had a multiple 6-figure launch at this point. And I wake up at 4 in the morning and it's like, you need to add a one-to-one option. I add a 25K option. The next day we sell 4 25K things. We make 6 figures in a day. And it ends up being 200K total because we had another 10K product, right? Bonkers. It doesn't make sense, right? It's completely illogical. And you can't base your whole strategy around this. I've said this from the beginning. You've got to have business mastery as well. But that cherry on that top, that quantum energy, those quantum leaps, those leaps in your reality, they've got to come through these illogical ways, because if you're thinking logically, you can only have logical results, right? I've had clients meet me on nudist beaches and go, I know it's you that I have to work with. And they make it happen because they trust that intuition, right? I've gone to Dubai and met people and hired them because I knew it was them, even though it was felt like the wrong timing, right? So this internal knowledge, this internal pull is what leads you to the illogical. The mind can lead you to consistent, logical growth. The body, the intuition is what leads you to illogical, like results that come out of left field and that you could not have predicted and that you could not have strategized. And the more that you're in tune with your business and the more that you're in tune with your body, the more you'll realize that different times in business need different things. This is the final thing that I'll mention, and then we'll close up. We'll close up not far from now. Business has different seasons and cycles. And we live in a culture that rewards the spike season, the quantum result, the it's blowing up, right? Who's ever felt this pressure of always feeling like you've got to be getting massive results? Has anyone ever felt that? Yeah. Next level is buying a house like that. Literally is, Anita. Like literally. Actually, we're going through a weird phase where we're like, we don't know if we want to own. But Anita's like, you should definitely own and do a renovation. Anita's like, and then you can have a baby, and then I will come and I will help with the birth process. In Marbella, Anita gave me a live demo on all fours of giving birth. That is how much that Anita wants me to give birth. I feel so supported by my clients in the strangest, most illogical ways. But there's one thing that I know, and that's when I get pregnant, Anita is going to be there for me. Like, that's one thing that I know, like, that I don't doubt. Every time I'm in a dip going viral, I feel pressure to do something to go viral again. Yeah. So we deal very, very badly with dips, but dips are part of a success strategy. Strategically placed dips are smart. And so emotionally, yeah, I grow in my dips. Emotionally, we need to be able to deal with silence and quiet seasons, right? Because there are different seasons in business and there are different seasons in life. Anita says, I didn't even have to say that. Jula all the way. Literally, Jula all the way, Anita. Um, I think the first conversation that I ever had with Anita, it started with babies. Um, so in business, there are different seasons. There are seasons where it's appropriate to scale and grow like crazy. There are seasons where you have to restructure behind the scenes and you've got to have a behind the scenes moment. There are moments in business where you have to refine a craft, right? So, for example, this last couple of years, I'm now in a leap season. I'm like all fucking engines on. Like this marks all engines on. I'm all engines on until the end of the year, right? We had the event in Marbella, and that was really the beginning of all engines on. But beginning of this year, I haven't launched, right? I've got so many payment plans from the certification that runs as a year that I've set myself up that way. I didn't launch. We've been building ads, right? And so that's been my craft refinement. I've given myself time to build ads, to learn it, to fuck up, to get better, to, try different price points, to try different strategies, right? So that's valuable. So sometimes you've got a letting go season where you've hit, and I wish someone told me this, where you've hit the ceiling of your previous cycle. So life is cyclical, and sometimes you hit the ceiling of your previous cycle. So what does that mean? You have to let go. You have to let go of people. You have to let go of systems. You have to let go of, sometimes it's home. Sometimes it's like, it's like your whole life is being detoxed from you. And it is a let go season. And it is so hard because we get emotionally attached to things in life. And it's like, it's painful and you grieve and you feel like your heart is breaking, right? And it's like you let go, you let go, you let go, you let go. And it's totally appropriate for the season that you're in. Sometimes you're in a let go season and the most money comes when you let something go. Because when you let all of those things go, that you begin the next cycle. And if you don't have space in your life for those next things, you're going to block the next level. There's no way you can go to the next level because you've filled your life with the old. You've filled your life with, like, there's no space for anything new, right? So we have go seasons, we have let go seasons, we have the behind the scenes seasons, we have craft refinement, we have detox, right? We have seasons where your focus is more on your body, you have seasons where your focus is more on your business, you have seasons, like, life is cyclical and life is seasonal. And it really is the cure to burnout. Because if you try, like, I feel like I'm someone that is highly capable on a go season. Like, I am someone that's extremely disciplined and someone that's extremely focused. I just am, right? I loved homework as a child. I'd get home from work and I'd be like, oh, I can't wait to do my algebra equations. Like, that's just my personality. Very cool, isn't it? So I like work, but if I worked like that all of the time, I would be a wreck. My body would be in the fucking gutter and I would block my next levels of growth. I would stagnate, right? Because if I'm not letting go when I need to let go, nothing new can come in, right? So I'm on a quiet season. I believe it's expanding my capacity for more. Yeah, exactly. And that's a thing, and that's totally acceptable, right? So what we have to know is that life is seasonal. right? And that is appropriate. And the person that has to advocate for your season is you. The person that has to advocate for your season is you, right? Because when you're I'm in a like behind the scenes structure season, like for example, when I was in I'm going to learn ads and we've got people talking about live launching, maybe I'd feel the pressure to go into live launching, even though it was the wrong thing for me to do because I was figuring out ads. I could have sabotaged my business because I'm following what someone else is doing instead of respecting my season. And so when you work with a coach, right, you need to work with someone that has got the understanding that we have seasons and to give you advice for what's appropriate for seasons. Like I've got a client that she's extremely capable and I've had calls with her before and she's like, I feel like I need to do more. And I'm like, she's already like tripled, she'll be tripling her income this year, right? And we've had a conversation about like, don't begin the ads and the membership until this point because you're going to fuck up what you've built. And I'll say to people in my VIP, we had a conversation to don't do that because like just because you can force yourself to your bandwidth, right? It's not actually going to help. And so I've hired coaches which live in the predominant mindset of more is better. And that's, constantly pushed to do more, 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 more. And that's really, really capped me out and capped out results. It's not their fault. I listened, right? I didn't trust myself over them. That was my lesson to learn. And that was actually worth the investment in the coaching container because I don't do that anymore, right? And I advise my clients, and this is why I say to you guys, like, yes, I'm going to give you advice. Yes, I'm going to give you teachings, but ultimately, who's God for you? You are. Never fucking abandon yourself for what I've said. Never, never, never. You've got to trust you more than you trust me. And I'll bring you insight and I'll bring things and I'll work with people and I'll have honest conversations, but like it's still a conversation. It's not dogmatic, right? Like, and sometimes I'll say, well, I think that that's kind of a limiting pattern and I'll bring an exercise that will help someone get awareness. But again and again, you have to trust yourself. And this is why I said to you at the beginning, I'm not raising disciples, I'm raising masters. I want you to self-heal and I want you to master yourself. And I want to give you the education, the tools, and the support, and the faith, and the community, and the belonging, all those things to do that, right? But ultimately, what I'm looking at is your ROI on your life. I'm not looking at anything else. And if I train you to be a disciple and follow me, then that's capping your ROI just remarkably, right? So how do we know our season? It's exactly the same as blueprint. There are charts, there are things like destiny matrix. You can also see in transits and astrology, right? So when you know how to read it, like your charts are going to give you a lot of information. There's different forms of numerology. There's more advanced systems, there's less advanced systems, right? But also to speak to the charts, right? If you read something in your chart and you hear something in your chart and it doesn't ring true for you, you're allowed to trust yourself over a chart. The chart is helpful. But the real skill that is interesting is learning how to connect to yourself. And that's why so much of the work that I do is self-mastery. And actually to bring this to the beginning of the session, right? And we talked about different modalities of reprogramming that we've got specific and non-specific. The final thing that I think people don't focus on enough, because sometimes we can get into, well, this modality is going to fix me, right? I'm going to learn this modality. Like, when I did the shamanic medicine wheel and I had this massive transformation, so many people around me were like, oh my God, I'm going to do the medicine wheel. And so many people didn't get the results. And the reason they didn't get the results, and it's a year training, and we sat around at the end, there was one girl and she was like, I felt nothing and I achieved nothing. The reason that was different for me, because it will transform the rest of my life, and it's one of the best things that I've done in my life, and I will be grateful until the day I die. And then if there are more lives, I will still be grateful there, right? Like just so transformational for me was that between the way that it was structured was that we'd have a retreat once every trimester, and then there was nothing. Okay, there was no digital, nothing. It was like you're self-resourced. I did the fucking work between the processes and the practices and the retreats. And that's the third thing of reprogramming. It's like, who the fuck are you being between the sessions that you're going to? Who the fuck are you being between your morning practice and your evening practice? Like, who are you being as you parent? Who are you being as you make dinner? Who are you being as you, like, even like when you choose to be a top performer and you choose to perform like beyond the normal, when I go to Pilates class, I still apply it, right? Like I go to this very, very anal guy because I know that the results that I'm going to get with him are significantly superior to going to a mass class where they're not correcting me. I go to this guy and he's so annoying. He doesn't let me be like a tiny bit of lazy in any single posture. Like, and it's so hard. And it's so hard because he will like penny pick and pinch until like it's like you're not doing it, Hannah. And like the other day I arrived on Tuesday and I laid down and obviously like I'm doing this so I'm thinking a lot. He's like, what's wrong with you? Instantly I've laid down, I've not said anything. I'm like, what do you mean what's wrong with me, sir? Like he's just staring at my body. He's like, something's wrong with you. And I'm like, but I pick that because that's the standard that I want to be held to. That's part of who am I being between the processes and practices. And he's like, you're clenching your jaw. He's like, we cannot continue until we disentangle your jaw. I'm like, sir, do you know what I mean? And sometimes it's so annoying because you're like, just let me be a lazy little fuckwit for a second, right? Just let me have a shittier standard. Just let, and he doesn't. And yet that's why I keep going. Right. And this is what I'm like very often with my clients, right? I could shut my mouth. I could give you the softer version. But what I want to do is give you the high standard, right? But ultimately there is a part which is it's you against you between every process and practice. And the only person that can know that, whether you're doing the work, whether you are actually doing the work, whether you're holding the commitments, who you're being in the sales call, who you're being in your marketing, because there's so much of success that is who you are being whilst you're taking the actions. And that's a whole other workshop. It's not the action, right? Posting on social media, having sales calls, opening your mouth and making offers. That's the bare fucking minimum. Like that's the bare minimum. You do not get a star for that. You just don't, right? Like at the beginning, when you've got to overcome yourself and you're scared and you're doing the pattern work, you can get half a star. But if you want real results, like are you selling? Practicing the belief system of people love to buy from me. Because in the end, the universe is perfect and you're going to have you mirrored back to you. And that's why there is not a coach or a practitioner on the planet that can save you unless you take 100% responsibility. And that's where I start there. Because a lot of the game is you against you. In the moments where no one's looking, in the moment where your partner's pissed you off and you could go into a pattern, but you choose differently. Or maybe you fuck up, but then you go and apologize. You still won. The moment where you wake up anxious, right? And instead of allowing yourself to not do any of the things that you were going to do, you'd make the sales anyway. You do the things anyway. That's part of the reprogramming. That's part of the reprogramming. And it's a huge amount of time of your life that you're alive where you're not in process or practice or ritual. Because can you imagine how insane that would be if you had to be in process and practice and ritual that much? Like you wouldn't be able to live a normal life. I don't want to be a monk. Do you guys want to be fucking monks? I mean, we've all got different blueprints. I'm sure we'll have a monk somewhere. And I'm delighted for you if that's right for you. I don't want to do that. I want to live a normal life. I want to live an extraordinary life, right? So that's, and part of the battle there, and that's why we do recommend long-term mentorship. And I will say this until I'm blue in the face, until, because we've got so many, you've done 4 days with me, but you join the global uni, you've got like 260 something classes, not including the blueprints, that you can listen to every day. And it reminds you of this energy and it connects you to yourself. And then you've got all the professional level blueprints. Like it's unmatched. Some of you guys that are in House of Manifestation know you need to be in global uni, but House of Manifestation feels easy. I'm going to say it, right? Feels like you're doing it, but you know that your level is the global uni level, right? Some of you guys know that it's your next step, but it makes you feel uncomfortable. Some of you guys know that it's your next step and you've got no resistance at all. Like Summer's here, her mum joined. I met her. The way that Mina came in, I'm just going to quickly, it's the best thing ever because I do attract people like this as well because I'm like this. Mina's smiling. So her mum is in Morocco and she sees one of my ads. She's like, 37 euros. I'm not a 37-year-old girl. She doesn't get it. Your mum probably doesn't call herself a girl, does she? I don't know. Someone's like, she absolutely does not. Anyway, so she texts me and she goes onto YouTube. She binges lots of my free content, the Shamanic Map of Advanced Manifestation. She texts me, she's binged it, she's watched it. One of my other clients, Natalia, who's a fucking legend, as well. So my clients are absolute legends. Nicola, they're connected to Gemma as well. They're all like, they all know each other. And then Chrissy, you're connected to Nicola. So it's all a web, right? You are right. You do know each other. Yeah, that's right. Okay, I'm not making shit up in my head. Um, anyway, so she sees that I'm doing a talk. It's the smallest talk in Soto Grande. We're like 13 people. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not a big deal. I've just been invited. Natalia's telling me, oh, someone was in Morocco. All I heard was your voice in Morocco the whole time. That's so funny, Summer. So she's on holiday. She's not making an excuse to not watch the trainings, right? She's like, I felt the pull. Anyway, so she books her flights to come to Soto Grande, Spain, for a day to this it's like a 2 hour talk. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's not a big thing. I've not marketed it. Anyway, I call her after and she's just like, yeah, I'm joining the Global Uni VIP this year and sign me up for the certification. The next day she signs the contract to the end of 2027. Yes, Anita, Summer, wave your hand. That's Mina's daughter. That's because we met Mina in Marbella. Oh, we're always working. Yeah, exactly. Right. So I know some of you guys are like that and you don't have resistance, and I don't have to tell you to follow the intuitive nudge. Oh, Natalie, there you go. Also saying hi. All you guys clicking. She's coming to New York next week. Chat's blowing up, right? So I know some of you guys don't have that resistance, and I'm preaching to the choir about trusting yourself, right? But some of you guys, that's your edge. Yeah. So I was thinking the same, Summer, you are the amazing Summer. We've all heard about Summer. We've all heard about Summer on the yachts. Anita and I's conversation with Mina was all about Summer. Dave, I'm 10 minutes from Soto Grande. Oh, do you know Natalia then as well, or are you just coincidentally here? Anyway, I'm happy you're here. She's there. I dropped her. Oh, she's already on her way to New York. Okay. Yeah, brilliant. So there you go. See, we're a beautiful community and everyone gets on really well, and you guys can see that everyone gets on really well in the chat, and it's not me just saying it. Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to start closing up now. So I'm hoping that you can see from these last 4 days that you've got a little bit of the breadth of what I teach. Okay, you can see that I'm hoping that well, I actually know it's not the normal, right? I don't focus on one aspect, and that's the whole point. Like I've said a bazillion times, like a broken record, this is a small piece of what I teach in the Global Uni. My life purpose, genuinely, is education within the business and the personal development context under the umbrella of mastery. And so everything that includes. My job is to set people up multidimensionally, right? Whether it's relationships, whether it's business, whether it's I have a lot of people that, Anita joined, and one of the big things is like lots of stuff with, well, both of her kids came out to our in-person stuff, right? So I've met both of her kids, right? And so all of that is appropriate because what I'm interested in is you as the entrepreneur. I'm not just interested in the money in the sense of you making more money, which you will do, right? I'm interested in all of it, okay? And so that's the reason that we set up the Global Uni in that way. If you guys have been in the game long enough, you'll know that it's incomparable market value. Most people don't do this breadth for the price points that we've done it at. We could do it at 30 and it would be totally normal market value, but I don't want to do that. At least now I don't want to do that. We don't know what I'm going to decide when I get the shift to change, okay? My idea is get this in more people's hands, okay? So quick note on what the bonuses are. Like you guys know, I believe in deadlines because if there's not a deadline, it's really fluffy and flaky. I don't do fluffy and flaky, as you can see. So the Global Uni, all of the blueprints, the membership for the whole year, all of the sessions, the podcast, the 3 live sessions a month, like all of that is 13,000. Okay. It's discounted 2K from 15K. It's usually 15K. Global Uni VIP, which is where you get mentoring from me, and it's that added touch, is 18K down from 20. Everything is priced 2K down, including the payment plan. So when you click on the link, it will say the old price, 15K, right? But when you click, 13K will come up. Same with the payment plan. So the payment plans are reduced more. Well, I don't know how much it would be. It'd be more than 2,000 because the payment plan is always slightly more, right? But when you go on the website, actually, Summer, can you do me a favor and can you grab the link and can you just pop it into the Zoom? If you go through the website, talking about different seasons, I haven't had websites until this year. This is the first year that we've had websites for everything. Like so many people here joined when we had thrown together opt-in pages because my season at the beginning was just teach and get it out there. And now I'm in a season of more refinement and actually more practical structural things, right? But if some of you can do that for me, that would be brilliant. Oh, does that work? The link for the offer? Wow. Thank you. And actually, will you grab the VIP link as well? So people can see the distinction between foundation and VIP. Oh, yes, everything is in Europe. Oh, coincidentally, but I'm not Dave. That's my husband. That's so funny. I'm Kirsten. Okay, I'm calling. I'm so, well, it says Dave, right? So I'm like, must be Dave. Apologies for calling you your husband's name. Oh, how funny. Well, Dave is welcome as well. We have lots of husbands that come to the in person. So the VIP is different in the sense that you get WhatsApp support with me. I'm still at a point in the business where I'm willing to be quite present. Like I said, I've made that commitment until the end of 2027, where I'm probably going to come back a bit. So the WhatsApp support means that I will do a lot of strategic stuff with you. I will look at your messaging, I'll look at your websites, I'll look at your launch plans, I will, and then very much, if something happens, we get a lot of things. There's a lot of unique problems that are only specific to business people, right? And then also the emotional mental work. So that WhatsApp support really, really does a lot of heavy lifting for people. You also get the masterminds and you get the in-person trips. So you can either pick Marbella or you can pick Morocco if you're a long-term client. Marbella, if you go on my Instagram, you'll see all the videos. Like it was amazing. It was beautiful. And then Morocco is kind of, it's more experiential. This is where Morocco is where people tend to bring their husbands, just because we go to the Atlas Mountains. There's a lot of hiking. We eat amazing food. Like, Anita's coming back for year 2 next year. So Morocco is 2027. Anyway, if you've got any questions, you can ask me, but I would really, really look. Yeah, so the VIP tier, I'll get you the link. There's a VIP tier link. There's a link which just tells you what's in VIP. Everything bought in VIP separately is 18,000, but it's only what 3 times 5? It's only 5,000. Sorry, my maths brain is going insane. It's only a little bit more than the normal one. You've got it there and you can see it, right? So you can pick foundation or you can pick VIP. I always say to people, like, if you want to go all in and actually get my eyes on your business and that tangible support, like it would make no sense to not do the VIP. But if you're one of those people that are like me, you like to do your homework. Do I have nerds here? Please tell me I've got some nerds at least. We've got we've got a couple. We've got a couple. Okay. I see you guys. I see you. I see you, right? Not cool as kids, very cool now. Right? I think I am. There we go. I love to study. Brilliant. Okay, so for my nerds or my people that are just applied because you've got big goals, the Global Uni in itself, it's like you've just got all of the blueprints. And my focus is ROI on a lifetime. It's not about what you learn on the year, right? You're going to apply things in so many areas of your life. I think that's really all of the information I can give you. I'm really fucking shit at giving people details because I don't buy from details. I buy because I have a feeling, because I felt my energetic threat and I move. So I forget that people need practical things. I forget that people have practical questions. So if you do have them, please ask the support coach. Please ask in the Q&A thread. It's totally acceptable to ask them. I'm just letting you know that I might have forgotten to tell you, but it's not that it's not a thing and it's not that it's not happening. It's just that my brain didn't feel the need. Right? Yeah, you can ask your, someone's like, you can ask your support coach, me, daughter of Mina, who is famous in this group because everyone met Mina in Marbella. You can reach out. And Sandra's there as well. Sandra's done all of the things. She's been in House of Manifestation. She's been in Global Uni. She's been in the certification. She's not been in VIP, to be fair, but she's like, she knows what it's about and she can answer your questions really, really well. Is there someone we can talk to about everything? We've got brackets. Kirsten, not Dave. So your support coach. But also, if you've got, this is where, if you want me to do a discovery call where everyone that's interested comes on, and obviously, like it's no strings, right? Like just come on and you can ask me really practical questions. What are the modalities, right? I'm going to throw in some client experiences so you guys can see. Like we've got Christy, she's like, she's gone into a music career now, but she had been working in Zoom, well, what we're on right now. This is Zoom. And so she scaled up Zoom. She was one of the first people that was there and, massive tech, kind of bizarre, like moonshot tech person. And then that was incredible, but there were so many personal things that she came and she worked through the cert. And so we've got her story, and then we've got other people that are more business scaling, right? So I'll put a few of those stories in so you can see. So you can reach out to us, ask me anything. I'm here, especially about the uni cert. I've done it all. So if you want that call, you can just request it to your support coach. If I get more than 2 or 3 people that want that, that makes sense for me, and I'll do that. And you can ask any question. I'm not very easy to offend, right? Like my partner's ex-military. He consistently offends me, right? Like consistently. It's the name of the game. So you can ask any question that you would like to ask. Oh, Eva's here. Happy to answer any questions as well. I have done and keep doing it all. Eva's been here for ages. She's done lots of the in-person stuff as well. So yeah, you can also like ask, I suppose, in the Q&A if there are any clients that want to share their experience, because obviously I understand I really do get this. There's so many people online that does this work that you want to make the right choice for you. And so if you've got actual experiences from people, it just that validifies that I'm not just off my head telling you that this works, right? Like there are other people that are there as well. Um, so thank you. Amazing experience. The last day's been incredible. Yeah, I'm really happy that you guys have enjoyed. And I'll see you all on Tuesday anyway. Maybe we'll add some Q&A there. For Tuesday specifically, bring a journal because I'll do some context, but it's really going to be the process of overcoming yourself. And here's what I'll leave you with, right? Like Anita's put, same, happy to tell anyone my experience and why I highly recommend it. You guys are all fucking legends. Every time I do a launch, all my clients come in and say this, and it's so brilliant because they don't have to do this, right? And I'm so grateful that you guys do. One thing that I'll say is like the decision point is it's that intuition thing. Like if your intuition is saying no, then don't fucking do it. If your intuition is saying yes, fucking do it, even if it's logical and scary. Like that's what it comes down to. And that comes down to create some space this weekend and actually allow yourself to feel it without getting into your head, you know? You're so welcome, Anna. Don't worry about the replay. That's what they're there for. Replays are going to be there until the end of the month. It works, it really works. And you were super skeptical when you came into my Instagram, weren't you? Yes, you were. She came into my Instagram and she was like, I watched the free thing and I'm not sure if I resonated. Is this going to really work? Like, that's how you came in. Yeah, do you know what I mean? So I've told you, I'm not offended. I wasn't offended. I was like, I'm confident if you do this, it's going to work. And now look at you, right? I've been doing the practices for almost 3 months now and it's a huge difference. Yeah. You're so welcome, Sophie. These 4 days have meant I've been able to see my limiting beliefs showing up with my clients' homes too. Yeah, brilliant. So I'll see you guys in WhatsApp. I'll see you in next week. Feel free to reach out to your support coaches. It's been such a pleasure. Go take fucking action on things. Go do the big scary things. Don't put them off, okay? You're also welcome. Ciao, ciao.